Hello, 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 friends. Nicholas here. Devo, TED Talks, Devoted Talks, depending on what you have to talk about, or I have to talk about, whatever. I don't know. Oh man, I'm tired. I am eating regularly. I am doing the do, and I am working regularly, and I'm tired. And in the last episode, I talked about not knowing what relationship that this has to either the time change, the shorter days, the longer nights, um, just overall activity levels throughout the day. I am really tuned into the running of the business, and there's a lot that has to get done. I'm currently a one man show outside of uh, technology and IT stuff that I have a virtual assistant that helps with quite a bit. But there's just a growing list every day of things that have to get done. And, I am able to keep taking one step forward and just trying to hold the faith, And in the last episode, I talked about consuming Vedic chants and things that are very helpful in calming me down and keeping me more level headed as I try to navigate all these things, because what I'm putting in is what's going to come out as the duress or stress or challenges build up in and around me. And so, bearing that in mind, I am cognizant of how I am approaching life day in and day out. I'm watching like a hawk to really observe if there's things that I'm doing that are actually depleting me rather than filling my cup, and what I might be able to do better. I am slowly coming out of more of a survival state. Opening a new business is a beast, and then the unpredictability of the market sometimes, without necessarily any fault of your own, and it's hard to tell if it is your fault or not. And that in and of itself is a mind. Um, I was gonna say f up, but it's a mind cluster, and you have to really get back to the basics. Do you value yourself? Do you think that you are worthwhile and worth working for and striving for? If the answer is yes, then the answers become easy. Next step forward. And if you are still dealing with residual childhood trauma, or if you're dealing with, feelings of worthiness or unworthiness, it might take a little while longer. You know, the one thing I can always fall back on is that I have survived every day till now, no matter what happened, and no matter what poor choices I made, and no matter what great choices I made. I'm still here, I'm still alive, and I'm still unable to think of who else I would want to be. I enjoy me. I enjoy doing what I do, even if it's hard and even if it's frustrating. This morning was very frustrating, but it doesn't make me want it any less. It just makes it more resist resistance creating, and it calls forth a more resilient and more enduring form of myself. Makes you think of Pokemon. What are you going to evolve into? And I am having to level up, and I am having to evolve, and I'm having to really evaluate myself dispassionately. Like, really trying to take the emotions out of my thoughts about myself so I can honestly assess what is working and what is not working, so that I can make life more functional, make life more reasonable, make life more mine. And it's hard. And if you're struggling with that, I feel you. And some days you're just like, I just need to cry because goodness gracious, God bless. And I think there's this common misconception that yoga or Ayurveda calls us to be happy, calm, and satiated all the time. And that's not life either, right? Like, having wants and desires is part of this process of having higher cerebral activity, being able to choose your future based on the present moment is also a power within you that is above and beyond survival. It is this option to thrive that is deeply ingrained into the mental capacities of who we are as human beings, of who we are as individuals, taking one step at a time, one breath at a time, one thought at a time in this plane of existence right here, right now. Now, that might sound like a bunch of yogi and yogic mumbo jumbo, but if you can hear me, listen. And if you cannot hear me, I challenge you to start this video over or listen to some of my previous episodes to see if you can't pick up the line of thought that I'm putting down. I'm not saying I'm right. I'm just telling you, as somebody who lives in this world, exists in this world, and is by all means having as many life experiences as you can. I could tell you so many crazy stories of things that I've gotten myself into, gotten myself out of, situations that shouldn't have ever happened, but the learning that I gained from it is at least worth value to which pain I suffered at the hands of it, or challenge, or, things that happened that, in some of the cases, I wish I could have spared other people the burden, but I didn't choose for them, even though it may seem like I forced it upon them. They themselves showed up in life in a way that attracted me in that moment to them. Otherwise, I wouldn't have entered their experience at all. Have you ever met people who just never seem to know what's going on from a chaos point of view? Like, they're like, oh yeah, I totally missed all the news stories and I didn't see any things, and they're in a great place. And it's not because they were ignoring it, but they tune themselves to a level that didn't even allow things of that nature into their experience. And so too do people tune into certain experiences with people in their lives. And that is something that we each do as well with other people in our lives. And so these challenging days and these hard things have to do with the dissonance between who we are now and who we want to be, the things we want to achieve, and where we're at now in that achievement process. And that path will go through the path of least resistance. But if you have a lot of roadblocks, you're going to hit all the resistance that exists there until you get passed through or over. And what does that look like? It's going to be so individual. I've talked about the Course in Miracles before, a highly individualized curriculum that is chosen by us before we incarnate, and then is delivered to us in pieces and parts as we are ready and able to move them, to move through them, to experience them, to change, or have miracles take hold within our lives. And so my wish for you is the peace and serenity to observe your life dispassionately, so you don't take the experiences of life so personally. It's a hard practice for me. All right? Everything feels so personal sometimes. And the reality is it feels so personal because I attracted it to me because of my set point here and now. And so that personal attack has more to do with me than the other things going on in life. And so sometimes I will just get frustrated. I'm like, oh, here I am again, and I didn't pay attention. I don't know why I'm here. But if I really stop and think, I do know why I'm there. And that frustrates me even more. And I know that isn't very affirming outside of, if you create it, you can change it. So that's my wish for you. If you created it, you can change it. And I wish for you that beautiful miracle right here, right now. And then be well and be free.